Autumn Winders. Hi, this is Michael Reeves, and we are just underway in an Autumn Wind playoff broadcast. This is the second game of four of our divisional playoff series. Autumn Wind is a 30, and we are just underway in an
Yeah, I
Autumn
had to
Wind
get rid of that echo real quick.
playoff broadcast. This is the second game of
2018 at 10 a.m.
I've got my iPad talking to me. I've got my computer talking to me. All sorts of craziness here. Dave, are you still there?
I'm here. You're doing a great job of multitasking.
Okay, so Dave is also one of our Szymanski. Did I get that right?
You got it right, Michael.
I got it right. Okay, good. So we're just catching up with this game. As a matter of fact, this is the New Orleans Voodo, and they are taking on the Seattle Seahawks. This is the first of two AFC divisional playoff games. The other would feature, let's see, that's the Dallas Cowboys, and they are taking on the Chicago Bears. And we have one other playoff game in the NFC West, and that will feature the Houston Texans, and they're taking on division rival St. Louis Rams. We have had one contest already that has taken place. That's the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC. They were division champion against a wild card club, the Oakland Raiders, and they were able to pull off a victory there in San Francisco, 30-22. So they will move forward and take on the winner of St. Louis and Houston. But we're focused on tonight's game, and this is a special game for a number of reasons, as we will get into it here momentarily. We're catching up right now. Seattle has the ball 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 37, and we talked right over a 4th down, which of course Dennis Crowley is quite familiar with. He loves 4th downs. He's a gambler, and he loves going for 4th downs, and more often than not, he tends to make it, which makes him even more difficult opponent to play. And this year, he was a particularly difficult opponent to play for the first time that I could tell on our website. This is a 16-year effort here for Autumn Wind. I don't believe that we have had a team run the gamut 16-0, and that's exactly what Dennis was able to do this year. He did it with a good mix of a good offense, not a great offense, but defense was his calling card. They are the number one scoring defense in the league, only allowing 165 points. Again, that's just barely 10 points a game. On the other hand, the New Orleans Voodo allowed 179 points this year. So both of these clubs, and we'll talk about their defense here momentarily, but both these clubs have outstanding defenses, and we'll get into that here in just a moment. New Orleans is a wild card team, and they were able to win their wild card contest and make their way here into this divisional round playoffs. They defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 12-10.
Yeah, I seem to remember that game.
Turnovers were the name of the game in that contest. They were able to score on both of their turnovers. So this one promises to be a tight game. Of course, Seattle does have the advantage offensively. The New Orleans Saints in that last game, Cam Newton threw a lot of passes, as I recall, and did not turn over the ball once. He has to watch his turnovers. If there's any turnovers this game, 1 or 2, if there's a differential at all, it's really going to be an uphill climb for New Orleans. So let's pick it up. So they were able to turn over Seattle. The punt went through the end zone, and New Orleans will take over on their own 20. They, again, are not a very strong offensive club. They are led by Cam Newton. They do have a couple of backfield mates here. We'll talk about them here momentarily. This is Newton going deep, and that ball is picked off. So a couple of passes into the game, Newton does throw an interception. He was looking deep for Allen Robinson, and Seattle will take back over 1st down at the 40. Dave, what I noticed in that game against Philadelphia, New Orleans, when they did have their scores, basically they had good field position each time. They had a touchdown, a field goal, and a safety. Both of their drives, as I recall, they scored right after a touchdown by the Eagles, took over at their own 38 after a nice return. And then the field goal that they had, that I recall, I believe that was on the heels of an interception. I believe they had 2 in that game. So they took over pretty close to their own 40. And, of course, the safety took place deep in the Philadelphia part of the field, and that's what gave them the 2-point lead and eventually the victory.
Well, they had me pinned quite a bit of the game. I started a lot of drives inside my 10-yard line, so it was a tough field goal or tough field position game against such a great defense. You know, with all the 6s and 5s out there, it was really a task to move down the field. When you start so deep, it's really tough.
Absolutely.
Dennis is driving here now. He's on the 12-yard line with a 2nd and 3 after that interception.
Mm-hmm. So defense guesses run on that play.
This is a huge play here at 3rd and 3.
You wonder if Dennis thinks he's going to. Well, we'll see what happens here, but I wonder if 4th down.
He does a lot of running on 3rd down, more so than most coaches do on 3rd down. But with 3rd and 3, this is something he might go up top on this. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he does have Spencer Ware, and of course, when it's guessed wrong, but it's guessed right this time. And look at that great call.
Yeah.
Great call.
Yeah, it's a good call by Butch.
Butch, that's right. Oh, and a block kick. Look at this.
Oh my. That's kind of a big turnabout there.
Yes, it is. So for the 2nd consecutive time, Seattle has the ball. They are forced to punt as they make their way inside the 40 of New Orleans. Dennis decides to play field position rather than going for it on 4th and 10 or so. This time he does make his way deep into the Voodoo's territory, but they hold with the block kick, and now they will take over with pretty decent field position here at the 33. Actually, they started out the 25. That was an 8-yard pickup on the first play. That was Allen Robinson. So 1st and 10. Let me put the so far today up here so we can get an idea of Cam Newton's numbers so far. He does have an interception. We are very early here in this divisional playoff. The winner will take on the winner of the other AFC contest, and that would be the Dallas Cowboys, coached by Mark LePage, 14-1-1 against the Chicago Bears, who won their wild card game against the Miami Dolphins. Dave, did you have a chance to play either one of these two teams this year?
Yeah, I played
in the regular season. I know you played New Orleans.
Yeah, I played New Orleans. I didn't play them in the regular season at all, but I did play Seattle once and lost a close game to Dennis.
Yeah, and and the funny story about that is, isn't technology great? That was one that Dennis had asked me to broadcast, and I fumbled all over it and couldn't find the file when it was all said and done, and I'm afraid I messed it up. I may have not even pressed the green button that said to broadcast, and everybody was cheated out of what I recall to be a really, really good game. That was a very, very close game. And Dennis has played some close games this year. I believe I said on the preview show that he was 6-0 against teams that made the playoffs, but in 3 of those contests, he won by 1 point, 2 points, and 3 points. And he did play this Voodoo team this year and only won by 3. So again, you're staring at 5s and 6s on both sides of the ledger here. Basically, you just, in a case like that, you've just got to get some luck.
Dennis is very modest in pointing that out too. That a lot of his wins were close games. Oh, here's a pick.
Another pick. So that's Cam Newton's 2nd interception of this game early on. So Seattle, once again, with excellent field position, ball at their own 47, just over 2 to play here in the first quarter. No score. Seattle and the New Orleans Voodoo, the winner, will move on to face either the Dallas Cowboys or the Chicago Bears.
Look, he's throwing deep to where?
He sure is. You're absolutely right.
That's an unusual call to throw deep to your halfback.
Yep.
He's around midfield, and I think he thinks that's probably a good area to where it can get him close if he catches one there.
Let's look at his card image here real quick and see.
Yeah, take a look at the pass.
Well, he has Thomas Rawls in the game, so we'll take a look at it here momentarily. We missed a 9-yard play. That was...
There's a big 3rd and 1 play.
Right. 3rd down and 1. And again, New Orleans has a good run defense card and an excellent pass defense card. Dennis has excellent run and pass defense cards. So I put the over-under on this game somewhere in the high 20s, and that may be saying something. Here's Spencer Ware.
Well, he got the yard.
He was able to get the yard. Got the 1 yard. That's all he needed. 2 linebackers in the zone.
It's critical now at this juncture that Butch slow him down here and try to stop him.
Mm-hmm. Well, he does so on the first play. That's a 1 yard loss.
We're in the second quarter now.
Well, early on, you see what Dennis's strategy is, and that is to run. But so far, Ware has been pretty much contained. 8 carries, 22 yards. And we have now entered into the second quarter. And a lot of people would not be surprised with this no score. However, Seattle has knocked on the door, but they were denied on a blocked field goal. And so Butch is hanging in there.
If you look at Dennis's stats, you'll see that he runs almost as much as he passes.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty even, which is pretty remarkable for this Oops league. Big 3rd and 11 here.
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis stays pretty standard here on 3rd down plays. He always likes to have the option to run. He runs also more on 3rd down than most coaches.
Mm-hmm. I think that has somewhat to do with the fact that he is pretty aggressive on 4th down, and he'd like to set up a flat pass situation on 4th, but he does pass on this play. He goes deep.
Bomb here to Deshaun Jackson.
So no dice and another punt for Seattle.
Didn't get it out of bounds.
Nope. But he elected to field it. I guess he did. It was a fair catch. Rather than risking it going into the end zone and pinning it deeper, he was hoping for a return, obviously.
Yeah.
That's Alex Erickson, the real-life Cincinnati Bengals.
10-yarders would have been a bonus, but he didn't. So now 2nd and 10 on your 5, that's a pretty tough spot.
Boy, Butch has been like uber aggressive with the deep passes. That's another one. Cam Newton's already had 2 interceptions in this game.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dennis has a 5 back there. It's not like it's a 4. It's not a real vulnerability.
Oh, look at this. He threw it left. Oh, look at that.
Oh, my gosh.
That gets you out of trouble.
Well, that's a roll that you're not going to see very often. The white dice 6 with 2 defenses with excellent cards. It just so happens.
Look at that roll. That's a pretty saucy roll there.
Yeah, he'll take any break he can get, though. It's the only 4 on Dennis's field, isn't it? That right linebacker.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a good break for one and a bad for another. 2nd and 7. New Orleans ball at the 38. There's a flat pass that goes absolutely nowhere. Now it's 3rd and 9. Cam Newton sketchy so far. That's 4-11, 40 yards, and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, his 45% completion rate is pretty weak.
Pretty suspect. I honestly, I think Colin Kaepernick's was 44% of all the playoff teams. I believe that was the 2nd lowest. I would think they'd be more interested in ball control, but Newton's been very aggressive so far.
Yes, it has been.
Mm-hmm. So that didn't take very long. Had a 30-yard flat pass. Did you see who that was to, Dave?
No, I didn't look who that was to.
I was just blown away by the 30-yard game. We'll look at it here in just a moment. Anyway, Seattle takes over at their own 18.
So that sure flipped the field position anyway.
Yes, and that's what New Orleans was very effective, I felt, in the game against your Philadelphia Eagles. Even if they were only to gain 1 or 2 first downs, they seem to pin you deep. And when you're staring at an 80-yard field against a good run defense and an excellent pass defense, it's kind of sketchy. You look for any opening that you've got on that team, but like you said, with 5s and 6s.
Well, he called a great game too, though. He really played well all around that game.
Mm-hmm. And I mentioned that in one of the broadcasts. The game yesterday, the San Francisco-Oakland game, here's Oakland with an average defense run cards and an average defense pass, and yet he's the 7th stingiest when it comes to total points for the season. And you look, he had 4, 4, 4, and 0 across his linebacker line on a 3-4. So you got to get creative. You got to move your linebackers around.
Look at that. Look at that. A draw play. Or at least it was a run. I didn't know it was a run play, but he got it on 3rd down with a run.
Oh, he did. You're right. A little bit ago, you mentioned that on 3rd downs, he does tend to run. And here's a pass to Olsen. That's caught. And another first down. So once again, Seattle is in Voodo territory. First down at the 47. Dave, the Voodo, is that an indoor football league team or?
I don't know where he came up with that name, but he's pretty partial to it. He likes that.
Yes, he does. And he playfully, I will say, got after me because I called his team the Saints at least 23 times in our last broadcast. So I want to be very careful. So again, Seattle is in New Orleans territory. I believe this is the 4th time they've made their way past the 50-yard line. They have no points to show for it. 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. This autumn wind divisional playoff game, AFC, first of 2. This features Butch Schmeck and the New Orleans Voodo against the 16-0 Dennis Crowley Seattle Seahawks.
A big 3rd and 11 now again.
You are right. These are not the down and distances that you want. You certainly want them on the offensive card.
And I think that's another reason he plays the standard offense on 3rd down, so he can do a little more running where you don't have to worry about the 1 roll and the 3 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
There's another
one to Spencer Ware. But this time he dials up the dreaded Tom Cook special. A 5 gets you 0, and once again, Seattle will punt. This time they're able to pin him a little bit deeper. Ball sails out of bounds at the 18, so the Voodo will take over. We're halfway through the second quarter. The Saints and the Seahawks, no score. The victor will play against either the Chicago Bears, who now stand at 13-4 after their wild card victory, versus Mark LePage, 14-1-1. The Dallas Cowboys. Their only loss, as a matter of fact, was to the Seattle Seahawks. These 2 clubs did meet during the year. Seattle coming out on top, 10-7.
Oh, you double-teamed Murray correctly. Nice call by Dennis.
Wow, what a call. And again, it goes back to what I said. You can play a stand-around defense if you really want to and just let the dice do their business. And for some people, that would make sense, especially because they have the numbers and the great cards. But the greater coaches are the ones who don't mind taking risks and making plays like that and creating 3rd down and 10s and, big yardage on 3rd down that make it pretty difficult.
There's a big
first down conversion. That's CJ. Is that Federowicz? That's how I've been pronouncing it.
That's good enough.
Good enough. All apologies to CJ Federowicz's family if we got that one wrong. Actually, as I recall, he was a pretty significant target in the game against the Eagles. I believe he was the leading receiver.
Oh, another pick.
Oh, God.
3rd one. Oh, my.
Well, I have sympathy for this gentleman. I had quarterback Bryce Petty lead my team. Wound up with 38 interceptions on the year, so I can totally empathize with this.
I don't expect Petty to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No, I don't expect him to be on a roster. Maybe not even mine. Just depends on how the draft rolls. Got to wait all the way till September for her.
With these 3 turnovers, I'm curious if Dennis is going to change his strategy at all here. Up there, he goes up top right away.
Oh, a fumble.
Let's see what happens here. Who picks this up? Uh-oh. Looks like Big Butch got one.
Sure did.
This is pretty fascinating. I would have liked a nice wager on the under on this baby.
Yeah, like I said, I think I said it at 29 because I didn't want it to be a joke and say 21. But if I would have thought it through,
yeah, that's
I would have put the house on the under.
Well, there's those defensive play. It can't be hard beating those 5s and 6s.
Yes, it is. And again, it does kind of make you think, when are we going to start to see some conservative play calling from either one of these two? Just grind out a first down or two and then punt it back to the other team. Try to pin him deep. Try to play the field, position.
This isn't very conservative. A fly to Allen Robinson. And, oh, my.
Oh, right in between. Wow. Dennis guessed run on that play. That's a pretty good looking. Well, it's not great, but it's a decent long pass card.
I was surprised Butch did open it up against me a lot too. He was throwing a heck of a lot.
Oh, he threw Newton through 40 some odd passes against it. I was really, really surprised. Very surprised.
There's 3 and out.
Well, I mean, he's already thrown 18 so far in the first half. So looks like he's headed to 40 attempts as well. He does have Latavius Murray, who's a workhorse back. He hasn't had very many carries so far. And that's Eddie Royal. That's the second punt returner for that team. Alex Erickson is the lead punt returner. Dennis will take over. Ball at his own 26.
15 was the second best number on that punt return.
Right. And another fumble. And look at this. The Saints have taken over. So this is the break that they needed. They've not been able to move the ball very effectively. Now it looks like they're going to be the team that's going to strike first. Ball at the 26 of Seattle. So 3:54 remaining. Now let's see if he goes a little conservative here.
He doesn't go conservative. He throws
not at all.
The same roll. Middle 9.
Oh my gosh. Well, Dennis thought he was going to go conservative too.
Yeah, I think Dennis was thinking along with us, but
Butch throws that one right out the window. That's the second time he's dialed up that 9 on Newton's card.
He's going to do it again, is he? Yeah.
This is to Allen Robinson. He throws another deep pass. My goodness gracious. My goodness gracious.
Well, he's got a set plan in mind here.
Yes, he does. Well, we are closing in on 1 a.m. here in the East. And Butch's play calling is going to keep me up tonight if he throws any more flies. And here comes a quick out to his tight end, Federowicz. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, look at the interception chances there. My goodness gracious. Please, Butch, kick this.
Yeah, please.
For the love of all things.
Oh
no. And the kick sails wide.
There's a little bit of frustration on both teams in this half.
Oh, wow. That's Dan Carpenter. Dan Carpenter, 2 through 6 and 12. Dave, I don't know much about the variable field goal rule. I think that plays actually in this league, and I'm pretty sure that Dan Carpenter has a better kick rating than 2 through 6 from his 26. I'm almost confident he does.
Yeah, that might have been a bad variable roll. I don't have the chart in front of me.
So with 2:06 here in the first quarter, both clubs have missed field goals, and that's why we're staring at goose eggs. 2nd and 4, ball on the Seattle 39. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining. Russell Wilson under center. And I think the 30th fly pass that we have seen, and this time
the first score of the game.
We're going to see a score. That is Deshaun Jackson in for the touchdown. So Butch Schmeck, I'm sure, is shaking his head. after being given a near gift turnover, ball at the 26. His kicker flakes on a 43-yard field goal, and Dennis cashes in a couple of plays later on a deep pass from Russell Wilson to Deshaun Jackson, and first blood is drawn by the Seattle Seahawks. So a bad break for Butch Schmreck. Now let's see how aggressive he's going to be down 7 with the ball at his own 25. He does have all 3 timeouts remaining. Here's an off-tackle run to Latavius Murray. It's guessed wrong. He's able to pick up some yards. That's 9 on the play.
Is he going to use a timeout?
He did not. He's doing hurry up. Murray only 8 carries in the first half. I think he's had about as many bombs. I think he's thrown as many bombs as Latavius Murray has runs.
Just one there and almost a 4th pick.
Wow. Look at that defense. 3 men in the zone. A 2 through 5, 11 and 12 interception rating. That's with 3 men in the zone. That's not 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Once again, that was another aggressive call by Butch.
Mm-hmm. I like it, though. 3rd and 1. Here's Cam Newton's first run of the game, and he picks up some nice yards. I believe his center was able to make that block. That's right.
There he calls his timeout. So
now he calls his timeout. You're right. 122. Ball at the 44. Maybe he's got time to get Dan Carpenter in the field goal range, and hopefully he'll get a better break than he did the last time. Probably needs to pick up at least another 25 yards. And there's a flat pass to Murray. Is he able to get out of bounds?
Roll on that.
He did not get out of bounds, but Butch elects not to call timeout here. So 2nd down. We have 60 seconds to go here in the first half. Seattle up 7-0 here in this autumn win, 2017-18 divisional playoff matchup. Here's a sack fumble. But he's able to recover. Now, he'll probably call timeout there, and he does. So Newton is sacked, and that'll bring up a long 3rd and 13.
Well, I'm not expecting a draw play. Now, this is a good call by Butch.
Oh, great call by Butch.
And he picks up the 1st down.
So there's that man again, C.J. Federowicz.
That was an interesting defense by Dennis, leaving the flat pass zones open and trying to catch him on maybe throwing the look in, but Butch crossed him up.
Mm-hmm. Looking for Federowicz again. He picks up another nice gain, 13 yards, but now Butch will probably have to burn his last timeout. Nope, he does not. He keeps the team on the field. He's going to try to play hurry up here. Ball at the 33. This is a 50-yard field goal range for Carpenter, who already has missed one from 43. I believe he got caught on the variable field goal range. Well, that's a pickup of 5, so now it's a little bit more manageable. He elects to call timeout here. Is this risky with 15 seconds left if the ball's in the field of play, or will he get that 1 second?
It'll go down to 8 and then to 1. So he's risking a little bit, but he's not going to. Even if he completes something, he'll still have a second left to kick the field goal. And he could spike the ball. It's only 2nd down.
You know, I saw a game this weekend.
Dennis keyed Murray. What a bold call by Dennis. What a bold call.
And you're right. He will get that 1 second left. So Carpenter will have a chance to redeem himself here. This is a 33-yard field goal.
Let's see if he can avoid the variable disaster.
And he does. All right. So the Orioles is on the board. So we went Gosh, 28 minutes without a single point. In the last 2 minutes, we've seen 10. So now the over-under bettors are a little nervous, maybe a little.
That was a big 3 points for Butch.
Yes, it was.
He needed that to
It's just mentally. Yeah, I completely agree with you. So these are two longtime strat coaches. They're going to have a little bit of a conversation here. We'll put the card back over. We don't need to read what they're talking about.
Looks like they're going to go pretty quick. Can we look at the first half stats real quick?
By all means, let's do. All right.
8 first downs to 6. Yardage just about even.
Mm-hmm.
Where's those turnovers?
So 3 interceptions so far for Cam Newton, and I believe that's 1 fumble that was lost by Dennis, but it didn't amount to much, actually.
Well, there's 2 fumbles lost.
Oh, that's right. They do have 2 fumbles lost. You're absolutely right. Shake that down so you can see a little bit better.
Yeah, so Seattle lost 2 fumbles and Cam threw 3 interceptions, right?
Correct.
Yeah, three Picarinos. A 4.6 rating for Newton. Little rough.
A little room for improvement. But again, I'm just a little taken aback here. And, you know, now that he saw the turnovers, maybe that'll get in his mind that, you know what, I can pin him deep, and let's see if we make a mistake. If we call a little bit of aggressive defense, maybe we put 2 people in the right flat pass zone, we start keying people correctly. Or, you know, Russell Wilson threw, you know, I have that number here.
13 passes.
He threw some interceptions this year, as I recall. I've got it on my notebook here. Let's see.
So 13 passes for Dennis and 15 runs.
So, I mean, you know, he may be due an interception. He did have 15 during the season. We've seen 2 fumbles so far. So, you know, again, just play some field position ball. Only one of the, actually, none of those picks have come back to haunt him. It was the missed field goal that led to the touchdown. We'll jump back into it. Newton has 27 attempts.
I think they're playing now.
Yeah, here we are back again. Okay, so let's jump back in. These are 2 fast coaches too, which makes it really nice.
Yeah, Butch and I actually we play games in about an hour. We played several games in less than an hour. So Butch and I play fast.
Yeah. Dennis plays like
Dennis plays fast too.
Yeah. So as you can see, the Saints have 5s and 6s on the field. The only time you're going to see a 4 is when they move off to a 3rd defensive back. 2nd down and 8. This is a run for Chris Thompson, a versatile run and receiving back. That is 5 yards for him. We've seen 3 running backs now.
Lucky the roll was 4. The guy made the block. The tackle made the block. This is a very important 3rd and 3.
Yeah, you're right. Not everything on the defensive card is a downer. Especially if you have good run blockers.
Oh, he threw at a 6 linebacker. And Butch held.
That's right.
Very critical first series for the Voodo.
That's right. So 3 and out. And the Saints will take over. 1st down at their own 19-yard line.
Okay, let's see if we see any difference in play calling in the start of the second half. I'd be curious to see if there's been some halftime adjustments made by New Orleans.
Yeah, I do wonder if we're going to see a lot more Latavius Murray. He only had 8 carries in that first half. And so he leads off with Latavius Murray, who loses 2 yards. Tough. Do not let your heart be troubled. Do not let 1 carry be it's a small sample size.
I think we're going to be back to the bomb pretty.
Yeah.
Here comes the slant anyway. Well, it's complete.
Oh, that's right. So Cam Newton's card has a 4, 5, and a 7 must run. I think he's hit that 1 time in this game so far. It's not as nearly as dynamic. a must-run card as it used to be. So New Orleans making a little bit of hay here. That's a 1st and 10, and on that pass, that's a 5-yard completion for Cam Newton, who is 11 of 29 for 111 yards and 3 interceptions. That was Allen Robinson's second catch for 15 yards. 2nd down and 5, ball at the 35.
Here comes Murray.
And there goes Murray. He picks up 4 yards on the play. So 3rd down and 1. Butch has a strong right side of the line with a 5 tackle, a 6 guard, and a 5 center, but he does have a strong left tackle, run block 6.
Look at this. The fly to Robinson on 3rd and 1.
He left a man in the zone. It's a must run. And there we go. So Cam Newton, again, not a super strong, a must run card. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe he wanted to look for that must run. Anyway, he winds up getting those yards.
New Orleans is not letting off the throttle here.
No, not at all. Can't really defense that must run. So pickup of 7. So Cam picks it up and a few more yards to spare. Ball at the 46 of New Orleans. So they've got a little drive going here. They're trailing 7-3. Just past 5 minutes played here in this 3rd quarter. The winner, again, will take on the Bears or the Cowboys. One of 2 wild card playoff games that have not yet been played. Also, the St. Louis Rams will be traveling to Houston to play the Texans. We do have 1 game played. San Francisco was able to beat Oakland 30-22. And that is Sir Lawrence, right? That's
yeah, Lawrence Green.
Yep. I think we have a game freeze here.
Yeah, might have.
Yep. Well, I'm proud of myself. I made it all the way to the 3rd quarter.
Wasn't your fault. We're not blaming you.
Well, yeah, we'll see. If they send another code here in a couple of minutes, I'll feel better. But more often than not, it seems to be my Lenovo.
Well, I speak on the entire league, Michael, and we appreciate you staying up late on the East Coast there to televise or broadcast this game. So
I appreciate you joining me. I like it. I think it's a lot more fun when people join, and I think it's more of a I think it's more of a reality show than it is a pretend broadcast.
I love hearing Dennis and Tom, and it's funny how Dennis tries desperately to get a few words in, but it works real well. Though the both of them, they appreciate, they know how to work together, and I think you and I will get to learn to go together if they can't broadcast the game for us.
Oh, I would enjoy that. No, I really do.
I'm glad you figured out the technical way to hook me up, because that's one of my real weaknesses, as Dennis will tell you.
Well, you got after it now. I'm
how bad I am technically.
Oh no. I'm really glad that you were able to do that.
I appreciate you inviting me.
Oh, that's no problem. That's no problem. I'm having a little hard time getting in here. I believe it was 27-202. Oh, they did crash. It wasn't my fault. All right. 3768.
Yeah, just copy and paste their number, and then you'll have it on your cursor.
Oh, yeah, I should have done that. You're right. Oh. Well, here's hoping we don't see another one of those. All right, let's catch back up here.
Well, look at that. A double team, and Cam completed it for 5 yards.
Wow. A lonely little 5. On a 5. So what do you know? Butch took over at his own 18, and now he's making his way down the field. Ball at the Seattle 42.
Oh, and Dennis nailed him again on a double
team. You are right. Who was that intended for, I wonder? That man again. Fedorowicz. Yes. And this game is humming along. 8:24 to go in the 3rd quarter. Seattle leading 7-3. And that's another run for Latavius Murray. Seattle's done an excellent job of containing him. That's 13 carries for 41 yards.
But he ran into a 6 tackle there and lost a yard. Okay.
And that pass will fall incomplete. But again, no points here, but look what he does. If he gets this, well, that's going to be a tough one. Let's see if he can get that punt pinned. It doesn't look like it. He doesn't lose the bent. Well, again, long field for Seattle. Yeah, boo, you didn't score a point, but you had a chance to pin him kind of deep. But instead, Seattle will take over at their own 20.
More than half of the third quarter already gone here, and it's still New Orleans has got an uphill battle here against an undefeated team.
That's right. Dennis Trust trying to find a way to stay turnover free.
Thompson's got a nice running card. I have him in the Frozen Tundra League.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to pry him off his hands in another league and no dice. He kind of held on to him. He likes those.
And he had a real breakout season this year.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what he anticipated as well. So.
Oh, -6.
If you are listening to this broadcast.
We jinxed old Thompson on that call.
Yeah, one of us did. If you are listening to this broadcast and are not part of this Autumn Wind League, just a few details here. This is a 30-team draft league, and we are working on the statistics of not the season that just took place, instead the 2016 season. This is a great league full of some really excellent coaches and some nice people too. We have drafts. It's a keeper league, basically.
Did you notice Dennis went on a line buck there again on a third down play?
Well, and I think that makes sense for him. Why risk a turnover that deep in his own territory?
Return for Alex Erickson for the Voodo.
That's right. He hit the second biggest return on his card. He does have a long gain on 12, but that may be the I wish they kept statistics on how many bombs we've seen. If I was any sort of broadcaster at all, I would have that number in my head. But I'd say out of those 33 throws, there has to be close to 10.
He just rolled a 6 against the 6. If he'd gone to the other side, he would have had it.
Oh, is that right? Oh, and that's another incomplete pass. So 3rd and 10, and Butch is in jeopardy of once again entering Seattle territory and having no points to show for it.
This is some frustration by the Voodo right now on how they've been, getting some opportunities in field position, not taking advantage.
Mm-hmm. And there's a screen pass, but Dennis had 2 linebackers in the zone, and that play only goes for 1 yard. So once again, Butch is going to have to punt this away. But he has to feel good now. He's made his way into Seattle territory several times. This time he's going to get a better result. Not much better, but a little bit better result. Seattle will now take over at their own 14. They are leading in this contest with 3.5 to go here in the third quarter. This is Dennis Crowley, head coach of the first ever undefeated team in Autumn Wind. 16 seasons for this league. 30-team league, in fact. 16-0, the first time it has ever happened.
And there's a completion to his halfback Ware for 11 yards. Impressive.
Who puts together this website? Do you know who manages that?
Yes, Larry Davis.
It's like the best.
Well, Larry Davis and Paul Mankiewicz together manage the website. Paul they are both have been in the league since its inception. I've been in the league with them since 1978,
Mm-hmm.
Mike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we go back a long way. Larry, Paul, and myself, we played in the table game with dice, and it's there's a few people in this league that have gone the distance. Oh, look at that.
Oh, boy.
Big numbers on Jackson, who's got the only touchdown of the game.
Oh, boy, the Voodo dancing between the raindrops on that play.
Oh, look at that one. Those were hails the size of golf balls.
That's exactly right. That is the Voodo living right. Or they cursed the long pass. Either way, they caught a break there. So 3rd down and 10. Let's see if Dennis dials up another long pass here.
or a draw play.
That's true.
He hasn't hit one of those in a while. He might give it another try. Yep, there it is.
But bad luck, it winds up on the defensive card, so he's only able to pick up 2. Linebacker run containment in this league?
Yes.
It is.
Well, I suggest to you this is a critical drive for the Voodoo.
I agree. I do agree with that.
I just think he's got to put some points on the board or move it into Seattle territory.
Get a couple of first downs here. Not off to a good start. That's a screen pass that falls incomplete. Cam Newton, interesting. Again, Butch relying on the pass for the second consecutive week. That's 36 attempts now for Cam Newton for only 117 yards.
That's pathetic.
Yep. And this time he's going to be hauled down for a sack.
Oh, my.
So now,
3rd and 20.
Undesirable 3rd and 20.
Give me a play call here, Michael. I need something for
Punt.
Quick kick.
Quick kick. Exactly right. That's Von Miller on the sack. I believe that's the second today for Seattle. Geno Atkins has the other.
He's a pretty good pass rusher.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at this. A bomb to another sack.
Another sack.
Well, it was a drive, but the wrong direction.
That's exactly right. I guess it could have been worse. It could have been a turnover, but instead they're going to kick the ball back to Seattle.
Well, there's a stretch for optimism.
And a fair catch. So back and forth we go. Seattle has the ball at their own 33. We've got a couple of
quite a fascinating game, though, I'll tell you. This is not your normal game.
No, and I there was another. Let's see, that was the Bears. Was that the Bears? That the Dolphins game. I believe that was the Bears. No, wait. I may have that tangled up. It was St. Louis. That was a crazy game. That Miami had 4 interceptions. St. Louis had 3 interceptions.
Oh, I watched that game that you broadcast. That was a fascinating game too.
It was crazy. I just an absolutely.
There was a good call by Butch, but a fortunate run for Seattle. So a big 3rd and 1, because look where he's at. He's nearly at midfield.
That's right.
Push into scoring position with 2 more first downs. So
exactly right.
Butch has got to call up something here to stop him. And I think Dennis might go for it even if he doesn't get something.
Really? You believe that at their own 41?
Well, not with 2 yards now. I think he'll punt it now with 2 yards.
Okay, that's right. Well, Russell Wilson is stopped in the backfield. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well.
Oh, talk about a long field.
Okay, mister, I only allowed 179 points this season. Let's see what you can do with a 97-yard field ahead of you.
Yes. Man, do you play a conservative here? Or is he gonna dial something up for Newton again? Oh, he does the sneak.
Oh, well, he's able to pick up some yards, get a little bit of breathing room. 4 yards on the play. Newton 3 carries and 21 yards so far.
If you're Dennis here, Michael, do you call run on this 7-yard line to try to keep him pinned? Do you call run? Give me your call quick.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
well, he doesn't. So let's see.
And Butch ran. And
look at that.
I think you would have made the call there, but
well, you know what? Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. One of these coaches is 16-0. The other one is 3-13. So
yeah,
the coin came up heads for me. So I got one right.
And we're sitting on the sideline, Michael.
I haven't sniffed the autumn wind playoffs. I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah.
And this is Cam Newton's favorite target. This is C.J. Federowicz.
Yeah, it is. And, I admire Butch for that. That Federowicz card is no good, but he uses him adroitly because nobody seems to respect him.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. He's guarded by a 5, so it's not like there's a huge weakness there.
Oh boy, we're going to come up with another 3rd and 1 here.
3rd and 1.
Okay, and as I recall now, Butch went on a line buck with Newton once, and then what did he do the other 3rd and 1 just recently? What call did he make?
That was a pass, wasn't it?
I think it was a pass, yeah. Now he snuck this one. So that's the second time he's used Newton on a buck.
Yeah, he's going to pick that one up. I'm surprised Dennis didn't call run there.
Yeah.
Because even if it's a pass, I don't think Newton's card is really that good. Guessed wrong.
So 2 of the 3 3rd and 1s, which went with a line buck with Newton.
Either way. And that's a screen pass. That goes to Latavius Murray. Only 1 yard pickup on the play. Ball at their own 37. 9:54 on a running clock. The Voodoo trail Seattle 7-3.
Whew.
So Murray picks up 3. Now it's a manageable 3rd and 6. Which goes 3 wides. That's Robert Woods. The slot receiver. Well, he's going to have a pretty good card next year.
Oh, he went with a draw play. Uh-oh. 4th and 3.
I don't go for it here. I just go ahead and kick it.
I agree. I think you can pin him at that. It's a good place in the field to pin him.
Yep. You just kick this sucker deep and see what happens.
We'll see. We'll see what we know.
I can't see him doing it here. No.
He's thinking about going for it.
Yeah, he made up his mind. That's the right call.
I believe so.
He didn't get too much of a break on the punt.
I wonder what Doug Peterson would have done. Okay, well, this is a absolutely critical defensive series for the New Orleans.
Not only that, but it's critical to get him off the field real quick.
Yeah, because look at realistically, you have 2 good possessions left in the game now.
That's right.
And if you let Seattle take up too much of the clock, that's not a good roll.
Bad roll, exactly. Defense calls pass on that play. Spencer Ware has been relatively ineffective this game. 17 carries, 52 yards, 3 yards per carry. So 2nd down and 9, which is a third of the way there.
Yeah, this is a big 2nd down call here. You're going to try to stop the run. Rawls is in there. No, Ware is back in there.
2 tight end set.
I think Dennis is going to run in here.
I bet he is too.
Yeah, he went on a sweep.
Oh, and there he's going to get that break. There it is. 14 yards for Spencer Ware. Move the chains. 1st and 10. Ball at the Seahawks 28. Running clock. 7:12 to go. Seattle ahead 7-3.
Definitely no more than 2 possessions left for New Orleans.
Exactly right. Seattle, the reigning Super Bowl champions. Was that Dennis's first Super Bowl title? I think he said it was. I don't know if he's won it twice or not.
Last year's win, you mean?
I think that was his first.
Yeah, I think that was his first and-on win last year.
He's got a trophy case full of medals and plaques, and good grief, he's in a gazillion leagues, and he seems to be winning nearly every one of them. He's been on quite a roll.
Yes, he has.
And even by his own admission, when we had a season preview, and I don't think this was humility, I believe he truly.
Oh, look at this. What's called run, but he hit the brackets there.
Oh, he sure did.
Well, here we go. Here's ball game here. This is absolutely essential to stop him here.
Butch is going to call run here. Oh, well, he calls pass.
Oh, my. Look
John
at
Jackson double teamed.
Hey, what a bold call by Dennis. What a bold call.
Oh, what a bold call, I think, by the Voodoo. He was correctly double teamed. So Butch Schmeck showing his psychic powers. Well, that's a nice kick.
Okay, here's one of the 2 possessions he has left.
Yep. One wonders if this could be the last one. Just over 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, and he's used up one of his timeouts.
He does. That's correct.
Only got 2 left. Oh, he's going right up top. Oh, wrong end of the column.
Oh, wow. A 2 and a 3, and that's it. And of course, you have some must runs. And I don't think you're going to get too much relief.
I don't
Dennis's
think
card.
that safety move anytime soon.
That's exactly right. I think he's going to keep him at home the whole time. So, okay, well, there's 5 yards.
4:30, 3rd and 5. Oh, holy hoo-hoo. What happened there? I think I lost you, Michael. Michael? You there, Michael? Are you there, Michael? Hello? How unfortunate. Are you there, Michael? Hello? Are you there, Michael?
I am, and I am so sorry. For whatever reason, my computer just totally went off. It just absolutely blanked.
Hey, move the camera down. Let me see your beautiful face.
Let's see.
There he is.
Yeah, boy, what a mess. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if the thing overheated or what happened. And when I had
Try slapping it upside this.
So I mean, I missed the last 4 minutes of the game, and I'm sure that you did too, unless you had like spectator mode.
No, I didn't. I wasn't ready for that. So.
Oh dear. Yeah. We could take a look at the um game log here, I guess, in just a moment.
Yeah, let's do a wrap up like we saw the end of the game.
Yeah, my goodness gracious, that's embarrassing. The other thing is
7-0 Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, let's
what a great comeback for New Orleans Voodoo.
Yeah, unfortunately, no, it didn't happen.
Michael, let's make up something like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, fascinating. The whole no, I'm sorry, I can't even make up anything. I'm really discouraged by this. I'm disappointed. I'm not. The worst thing is that I'm having a hard time. Are you getting a part of the screen? Or are you getting what I'm getting? It looks like it's my gigantic.
Yeah, I'm getting your forehead, and
yeah, that's nice.
You're wondering if we coiffed hair.
It's a bad head, basically. I've got the Tom Cook look going on. It's not letting me do the screen share. That's the problem. I think that it's not letting me. It's magnified the screen for whatever reason. It's not letting me shrink it. So I can't go up here to the top. There's a little thing up here at the top that'll let me do a screen share, but unfortunately, it's just not letting me move over there to the right to share it again. Plus,
whatever you did to begin with, try it again.
Yeah, let's see here. Come on, man. What's the matter with you? Wait, maybe that's it. So frustrating. Google, why?
Maybe we can catch the.
Hey,
This is 2 games in a row.
Oh, hey. What's up?
Wait, come on. We gotta know. 17-0 or not?
17-0 for what? For here?
For your record. We missed the end of the game.
Oh yeah. So it's held on 7-3. 7-3 was the final score.
7-3. Oh my! Congratulations. Well, that was a tough game. You were sure right about that. You could play close ones with Butch.
Oh man, he calls a great game, and that excellent defensive card. I'm scared. I'm scared to throw with Russell Wilson against that card.
Yeah,
so
you just know how to pick those passes off, though. I mean, you're stepping in front of everything that Newton's throwing.
That's not my calls. That's just the card. It kept landing on 9 on the defensive card, but
Well, you know what Branch Rickey said, Dennis. Luck is the residue of design.
It's not by how many. It's just by not by how much, just how. I don't know. There's got to be a saying that covers this game because it was ugly. Lots of punts, lots of runs on third down.
Last time I spent an afternoon with you, I should have touched you more. You know, have some of that rub off.
Hey, now I know we're up late, but that's G-rated.
This is Strat After Dark.
Exactly.
And just the more civil places.
Well, you almost beat Butch, Dave. So you have some experience on what his defense is like, how tough it is. Hold on 1 second.
Hey Butch, are you excuse me, Dave? Are you getting a shot of the screen now?
Yeah, I'm getting I'm getting your railing or whatever that is, and I got a good clear picture of Dennis. So.
Okay, so you can't get a hold of my box score here that I've got up?
No. All I'm seeing is a rail on the wall. I'm kind of Now Dennis is taking a walk through his house here. Checking for intruders, I think.
No, just trying to find quiet spots so I don't wake up the rest of the family. So
tuck the family in for the night, huh?
Exactly. So anyway, but it was a fun game.
That was quite a unique game to watch.
Playoffs are always tough. All it took was one
Were you
of those.
Surprised that Butch just kind of unloading on you with passes?
Well, you got to. I mean, when you have an inferior quarterback, and Cam Newton's, in real life, he's much better than he shows up to in Strat. But you're playing excellent. You got to fire it away. I can see your screen now, Michael. You got to fire it up and try to connect. And all he needed was one of those passes to hit, one of the guessed wrong bombs or one of the ones at the end guessed right. He just needed a little bit of magic for him to pull off the upset. So I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing. I would have been firing him up too.
Yeah, well, he threw a lot of passes against me too. So I just had to call pass against him because he was just winging it like crazy.
Yeah, and I was fortunate that Murray didn't hit any of his big runs. Butch is right. He got more offense than me. This is I was lucky to win this one, believe it or not, 17-0 or not. I think Michael pointed out whenever I play the tough teams, I just barely win. It's not like I'm like racking up points against the top teams. This is not a great Seahawk team. The last year's team was much better. So we'll see. The next game is going to be really tough against whoever advances on that between Mark and who is it?
Lawrence?
Yeah, Lawrence. No, Lawrence on the other side. Mark or Paul?
Okay.
Who's left? Why is it not sticking with me?
Yeah, who's on our side? Mark and Chicago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So,
who's it? Luke?
Is it Luke Dalfume? I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
So he beat Paul. That game could have gone either way too. So I gotta imagine that Mark will probably win that one.
Mark
he's put together. Yeah, he's put together a fantastic team with Breeze now. So, but then again, you never know. I mean, that's the thing is when you get in the playoffs, you just need some magic. You just need some luck. You need a couple of fumbles. You need a turnover.
Yeah,
you need to hit a bomb. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got Jordan Howard, I think. So that guy's capable of carrying a game by himself if he hits the couple of big runs on the edges. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, you had some. Ware didn't break off any big ones tonight, did he?
Well, no, but Butch was doing a great job calling run. When he saw me on 2nd and long, once I had the lead, I was even running when I knew he was going to call run because I figured the only thing that could beat me was a turnover. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a night, Dave. I got to get some stuff done. And
okay, well, congratulations again. I mean, this is unprecedented and incredible run you're on, and it's gonna. The next 2 games will be the toughest too, and there may not even be a second game. I don't want to hear this crap. You're doing great, and you deserve it. You put together great teams, and you're a great coach. So
yeah. Well, we'll see if I can squeak out one more win. That's all. Just got to win the next game. On to wherever I go next.
Yeah. Well, thanks for getting Michael straight on the pronunciation of my name. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, he's like you're like the old Kings center, Brian Smolinski.
Yeah, well,
he's a pretty scrappy player, but let's get it right. So,
are you still with us? Are you there?
Michael jumped off, so let's say good night. Thanks, Michael, for broadcasting it, and we'll talk to you later.
Great work. See ya.
Bye.